Hey, exiles, and hopefully soon to be travelers. I know many of you are here and watch this channel solely for Path of Exile 2 related discussion, whether it be podcasts, news, or opinion pieces. However, today I'd like to bring your attention to another game I've played before and plan on playing quite a bit in these coming days that I think a great many of you may enjoy adding to your gaming arsenal. Last Epoch. I suppose this is a little bit awkward for this video, so let's make a change. Are you ready? Here we go. Oh yeah. In this video, I'm going to make the simple, succinct pitch for why you are likely to have fun giving this ARPG a go, and seriously, why I think it's 100% worth your one-time payment to play. And why not begin with that? Last Epoch is a buy once, play forever game, meaning you pay the $35 box price and never need to pay for anything gameplay related again. Everything extra in supporter packs or the in-game store is purely cosmetic. There's no need to buy extra stash tabs or the like to better the game experience. Those are free from real-world monetization. Additionally, the game has an offline mode, so if your internet dips out or you don't have the greatest connection, you can play entirely offline with no server or latency issues. The game is season-based, like many other ARPGs, with economy resets and new features appearing at a hopefully consistent cadence. This season has taken a while to cook for the developers, 11th Hour Games, but as stated by the company's founder and LE's game director, Judd, they've restructured their pipeline in a way that should allow for much swifter updates, probably at a 3 to 4 month cadence. However, for the time being, no content is only seasonal. Everything added to Last Epoch now and for the foreseeable future will immediately be added to the core game too, meaning if you are an offline or standard realm player, you're only missing out on an economy reset. In a world with games being hyper-monetized with not only cosmetics, but convenience items as well, it is refreshing to see a game in the space you can buy and return to whenever, without fear you need to buy some form of assistance to play the game with ease. It might make them less money in the long run, but it is a definite Last Epoch W. Another awesome aspect of Last Epoch is its play your way mentality that's only becoming better with Season 2. And seriously, there's a bunch packed into this statement. Character build availability is extreme, with plenty of options to choose from for each character class and their 3 associated masteries, kinda like ascendancy classes from Path of Exile 2. Nested within each of these are a wide variety of skills specific to each class and mastery. Each skill has its own personal skill tree, each class has a skill tree, and so does each mastery. Additionally, these trees are very easy to move around points for. It's a minor gold cost and a bit of experience to re-level skills. It's truly trivial. In Season 2, they've also added the ability to swap from one mastery to another, meaning if you don't enjoy the playstyle or skills of, for example, a Sentinel Forge Guard, you can become a Sentinel Paladin or Sentinel Void Knight. Oh, and you don't really need a build guide due to this type of system implementation. They're available, and they'll turn a viable character into an optimal one, but you should be able to tackle an extraordinary amount of the game without following instructions on how to make your character. Mistakes are allowed and fixable. There are lots of sensible combos in the skill trees, while obscured, busted interactions also exist for the most astute among us. I love that. This customizability extends into the item system too, which we'll touch on in a moment. Another great play-your-own-way aspect of LE is the in-game loot filter system. Neversink is indeed the GOAT of loot filters in the PoE universe, but the LE devs decided to allow players to simply construct their own entire loot filter system in-game. It's just another part of the game that elevates it in terms of personal customizability compared to the competition. And though there's much more we could touch on, here's another huge one to close it out on: the faction system. For now, we'll focus on the 2 core factions, the Merchants Guild and the Circle of Fortune. On your quest through LE, you'll be able to choose one or the other. The Merchants Guild opts you into cross-player trading using an auction house. The Circle of Fortune disables your ability to trade with other players via the auction house and turns the game into a solo account found experience, but buffs your personal loot drops and allows you to tailor them to whatever you're searching for using a couple different systems. Some people greatly dislike both of these things in ARPGs, others love them. Personally, I am a huge Circle of Fortune fan. It allows you to entirely take the reins of the game and take everything at your own pace, as long as there's enough stuff to do. Perhaps this is a good time to mention the game also has a click to sort all functionality for your inventory and the like, which lots of people love. There's also a vacuum loot feature in which you click on one currency item or shard and all the other currency items or shards in the area will automatically pick up. And if you die while in a map, all of the loot that was on your screen will teleport to you in your respawn location. These are a lot of quality of life features, and it's only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Last Epoch QOL, and people ask for them, and Last Epoch delivers. My biggest gripe with Last Epoch before Season 2 was its endgame depth and loop. However, that's been the primary focus of the 11th Hour Games development team the past 9 months, headed by game director Judd. They knew they had character customization and items pretty much down, but the content available in the game was lacking and monotonous, so they went absolutely berserk with what's coming in Tombs of the Erased. The base endgame system is quite similar to PoE2's. It's a huge grid of intersecting periods in time, and you're venturing to each of these on a grand chase to battle the pinnacle of LE, Aberoth. However, there's a bunch added, changed, and included in the new LE endgame cycle. Let me just list a bunch of this cool content off for you. New procedurally generated zones called tombs and cemeteries with special crafting rewards. 36, not 37, woven echoes, special maps with unique boss fights, rewards, and mechanics. Brand new champion enemies, new boss fights, improved progression paths, a new endgame faction, the Woven, the Weaver Tree, essentially an Atlas passive skill tree for LE, and an Uber version of Aberoth. Altogether, it's looking like my main issue with the game is being washed away with Season 2. I'm really hoping all this plays and feels as great as it looks. Finally, as for the last sell before we discuss my remaining primary gripe with Last Epoch, it's the game's item meaning and crafting depth. The items in this game are, quite frankly, great, and drops matter quite a bit. The uniques are flavorful and powerful most of the time. Rares are impactful. There's a class of item with something called Weaver's Will, which allows unique items to obtain randomly generated upgrades. In Endgame, dropped items have the highest power ceiling. And finally, every item can matter in some way, shape, or form due to LE's extensive crafting systems. Yes, that is plural. Crafting shards constantly drop, and every item's affixes can be broken down into shard affixes that can be used on gear you're actually using, even set items. For example, if you're looking to add increased fire damage on your sword, you can edit your loot filter to highlight those purple, always know when they drop, then keep breaking them down into fire damage shards, which will eventually allow you to roll and add fire damage to your current best in slot sword. However, depending on the sword, there's a limited number of times you can craft on it and upgrade it, and then there's a chance for these crafts to critically succeed and send a beautiful rush of success down your spine. Honestly, this is the simplest case of crafting. There's a ridiculous amount of depth and customizability here with the way forging, rolls, and upgrading items via crafting works. It's definitely a lot to take in and explore, especially for someone like me. The game's not an item editor by any means, but you can alter and empower your items by a significant degree, and do so quite easily or casually, or go all in and gigacraft some majorly OP gear. Tombs of the Erased builds on the base crafting system massively, especially in Endgame with cemeteries, tombs, and woven echoes specifically dedicated to an array of interesting crafting scenarios and goals. Summarized, LE had the best ARPG crafting system before the release of Season 2, and they went and decided to make it even better. Now, Last Epoch, as with any other game, is not all sunshine, rainbows, and loot lizards. You'll get that soon. It has problems, and this right here is the biggest from my point of view. And I must be honest, this might be better with Season 2, but this is something you must experience firsthand. It's the jank of play, of combat in general. While the game is receiving a significant upgrade to its graphics with Season 2, its animations were lackluster the last time I played and in all previous playthroughs too. The abilities I used didn't feel too impactful, enemies kinda just floated over when I killed them, and nothing had that tremendous oomph I enjoy in other games. This probably is highly skill and player dependent, and I've unfortunately not played a skill in which I felt like combat was a mess of monsters overwhelming me as I obliterated them. I just use skills and they kinda just die. It feels a bit janky and disconnected, and I fear if I decide to use the beta version of WASD movement being added to test out, it might feel even worse. Adjacent to this, there are some great boss fights like Majasa, but combat and the feel of the game just lacked in the past, especially when compared to games like PoE 2. I'm hoping that feeling is improved when I hop into Tombs of the Erased. It's kind of funny. I have a problem with the loot in PoE 2, but love the combat. And it's the exact opposite when it comes to Last Epoch. So there you go. That's my pitch for you. Likely a Path of Exile 2 player to give Last Epoch's second season, Tombs of the Erased, a try. If you do end up buying it, I recommend using a Creator's Nexus link. It costs nothing extra for you, but it gives the creator a cut instead of Steam. My link is in the description, but if there's another big creator or Last Epoch savant you'd like to support, go and do that. I'll also be streaming the entire launch day with drops on. It's going to be a super fun time. Additionally, I will be doing supporter pack giveaways on stream throughout launch day and in the lead up to the launch itself, so if you'd like to enter, all you gotta do is pop into the Twitch stream, say hi, and enter the raffle. As always, thanks for watching. Please like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more Last Epoch content, and I'll see you in the next video, or this one in which I actually interviewed the Last Epoch developers right before the season launched. Stay sane, travelers and exiles.